Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my best friends in the entire world that are dead to me because they saw a movie together without me.
Mm,
I'm gonna start with the man in red wearing the UAAP Championships colors, CHUBAX.
Hello, I'm
Woo!
CHUBAX. You can call me Papa, and I'm happy to be here. Hello.
Our other co-hosts for today and on the podcast in general is the face of the group, RJ, aka Raymond.
Hey everyone, great to be back and excited for the show ahead.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Thank you very much for your view. We hope that you like it. Comment, subscribe to our channel. This is the reviews show where we deep dive into TV shows or featured movies and provide our opinions if you and your friends should watch it too. Um, as a stable of podcasts and content, plus 63 HP has currently three and some one-off shows. On Tuesdays, this review shows drop. On Wednesdays, we record and also post our very first D&D campaign. And on Thursday, we react to featured clips, trailers, short videos, featurettes, all of the things that we need to be hyped on or maybe not be hyped on. We react to those, hopefully inform you a little bit of the content that will be dropping imminently. We are on YouTube. Just search plus 63HP or type in youtube.com/plus 63HP. We will be there. Again, hit that like button, comment into on the videos that we do, hit that notification bell so you'll be informed when any of our videos drop. We are also on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with the handle at plus 63HP. If you don't want to see our faces, if you just want to put us in the background while you clean the apartment or work, pull up your phone, check your favorite podcasting app, and search plus 63HP. We should be there. We particularly like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon. Um, Before we dive into the main topics for this week, which should be a very fun discussion, next week we are still continuing our episode by episode reaction and breakdown on the Halo TV series.
I
It
think it's
picked
a
up a little
finale.
bit this week. It's great, right? Almost.
I
Oh,
think
it's
it's a
the finale.
finale. I
I
think
thought it
so.
was 10 episode.
Yeah, I think
Ooh,
it's not
okay.
only.
So it's gonna be the finale. So that will be a great discussion. We'll probably do a wrap up on the entire first season of the Halo TV series. Our movie of the week next week. It was supposed to be our movie of the week this week, but these two fuckers decided to watch a movie together in the cinema so we can discuss it this week,
Yeah.
whatever. So our movie for
Fucker
the week
present.
next week is X. So that's the fun porn horror kind of thing. It's 824, so we should expect some quality of it. So let's do that. But
All right.
without further ado, our topics for this week will start with the Halo episode 8 Allegiance. And everybody's talking about it. So we're going to talk about it too. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. All right. Are we ready? Are we
Yep.
ready? I'll turn over the
We are,
stage to
man.
Chubax to give us a little bit of synopsis of Halo episode 8 so we can react to it.
Yeah, so just quick synopsis. So last episode, John and Maki had a shared vision when John touched the
Mhm.
artifact of Halo, and they have like a intimate connection there. So in this episode, they bond figuratively and literally.
They fuck.
They there we go. They
Master
fuck.
Chief fucks.
He's not a virgin anymore. It's divided the fandom. So yeah, I saw like tweets like oh I think sarcastic like because he was teasing the angry ones were like oh I can't relate to Master Chief anymore because he's no, kissed a woman. Something so anyway, so he bonds with Maki, and he actually through their connection makes her question her allegiance. Actually, I think he was ready to side with Chief, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then aside from so because of that, Halsey was losing everything, and she went full on bad guy here. commandeer the Spartans, said that everything's compromised, capture Chief, Maki, and the artifact, and they take out Kai, and then they try to take out Master Chief, armorless Master Chief, and
Yeah.
we got a good fight there. And then Miranda at the same time also figures out that Maki was the one who attacked the last Corvette in previous episodes.
Translating the recording from the Gladius.
Yeah, so Halsey here waiting on her ship to escape with Chief, Maki and the artifact, and he even tries to talk to Maki to try to convince her against
Mhm.
the UNSC. Like he's really so egotistical. I think it's just like she believes that she's so smart that she's the only one that can do it, and she has to do it. Like so. Anyways, and then
Yeah, a bit annoying actually on that part, but
we'll get
we'll
there. And
discuss
then
that later.
in
Yeah.
the major, not major twist, but like I guess it's a twist for people who don't know. But Cortana, who doesn't shouldn't have be sentimental, turns on Halsey and
No
uh
sentiment.
sides with Chief, and we get a good fight scene with we're seeing Master Chief with Cortana together. Like that's pretty cool. Imagine if he had the armor too and weapons against those two. But yeah, so in the end, Maki tries to escape and not escape, tries to go for help for Master Chief. Nobody believes her. They torture her, which I can't fault her. She regret,
Mhm.
she remembers how she was treated before, and then she just goes apeshit and touches the artifact. And I think she's gonna signal the Covenant. And this, what I've been reading is this might precipitate the fall of Reach, which happened in the games and stuff.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Makes sense.
So yeah, so that's the episode, and in the end, I think while she's having the vision, she says goodbye to Chi, those in that shared vision, and then we go to the finale. So that's episode 8, Allegiance from Halo. Did you
So,
guys
what
think?
did you think about that, Jay?
Well, I think throughout this, for this episode, I like the vibe between Master Chief and Maki. No matter what the other nerds and virgins would say, I think they actually made a good. They had a good match at some point. Maki is gorgeous. Chief is that rugged, good-looking man.
Mhm.
Again, I'm not watching it with the lens of Halo. I'm watching it from a space marine type story. Dr. Halsey for me was yes, as CHUBAX said, very egotistical.
Mhm.
To the point that it's borderline annoying. And I'm like, just go, just disappear. You were given the ultimatum, but you literally just want to break all the rules just to fulfill your own desires, which also included poisoning the mind of Maki, which could have been world saving,
Yep.
which could have led to world universal peace if
Well,
Maki
to the
had
detriment of one
turned.
species, the Covenant, but yes.
Well, not yeah, not
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, but
humanity
humans
winning.
aren't the one going out. Humanity winning.
Mhm.
Yeah, humanity winning. But of course, I'll side with humans in that sense. I like their feedback. For covenants, they are, they're really ugly, but they're very smart. um, yeah, it really just to satisfy one's own curiosity, which could lead to the downfall of an entire civilization. Even poisoning, even when she had an argument with uh with a commander. I can't remember the name.
Keys.
General
Jacob
Keys.
Keys.
Yeah, Jacob Keys. You know, what are you willing to sacrifice? Everything. Which she did. She really did. She would sacrifice her child. She would sacrifice so many humans just for her own selfish reasons. And yeah, that's what really annoyed me. I think more than the Covenant, she's really more of the villain in this entire season.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't so bad. I did love the action scenes. I love the the bit of an R scene right there. Um, but yeah, I was like, it's this close, this close, this close from you're one episode away. So I was thinking, are we really rewriting the whole Halo thing and making humans win? No, I guess this is the start of the downfall. You're right, and let's see how it goes. That's it
Yeah.
for me. How about you?
Coming off the episode 7, this was a marked improvement. Not perfect, but this was I was also reading other reviews and hearing other comments about the episode once it dropped a couple of days ago. And were saying like, all right, okay, you're seeing glimpses of what this series could be, because it had really good action towards the middle, in the end. You see power sets being used. You see the shield. You still you 2 more shots, and the shield will be down. I like what you did say. Like you have like an AI assisted fight scene that equal neutralizes 2 against 1 Spartan and stuff like that. But I really did not like the flip flopping of the main characters, like Halsey trying to work with John, and then oh no, he's not gonna get John. John is now in love with Mackie, and then now okay, how's he gonna poison Mackie? And then Mackie got found out by Keys and the Admiral. So there's so many just like switching of the allegiances of both John and Mackie in the entire episode, which I think was intentional to show how one, like humanity has a propensity for good, but also evil, like, so you can't trust them. But also the Covenant is a species of people. So when Mackie said what happens to the Halo once the war is over, and then we'll just see. So that's a valid question. What's gonna happen with this ultimate weapon after it's been used to defeat one perceived enemy? So it's like, all right, they're asking good questions. They're leaning in a little bit more to the sci-fi. They're trying to evoke some more intellectual discourse in terms of the philosophies of UNSC versus the Covenant, humanity versus whatever. So it's getting there. I really actually like even the acting. You have a sex scene that they're comparing each other's scars. So that's all. You're both tortured by the people that kidnapped you. So it's like, all right, cool. We have something in common. You have this power set that binds you together. You're the only 2 people that has the capability of understanding each other. So they're laying the groundwork, but it's still messy. It's entertaining, and I like where I like how the episode flows. I like the fight scene. I like how it ended. It wasn't like a super crappy ending, or not super cliffhanger, and so it was good. I didn't even realize it was going to be the penultimate episode, but overall, I enjoy this. I've fully shed the video game Master Chief. This is a totally separate character for me. He barely wears his armor. He didn't wear his armor the entire episode today, and he had fight scenes, right? You didn't even see a glimpse.
Not only did he not don an armor, he even took off his clothes.
Oh yeah, he fucked. Master Chief fucks. I told you, Mackie was cute. Yeah, they were trying to do a little bit of like the gruesome scenes. Like I cringed when Mackie took off her fingernail, like with the weapon. Like ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, we see Mackie turn from bad to good when after they, a good fucking will turn any person into a loving person. So that's kind of like the lesson that I learned there. And then she turned back in the end when fucking she got cattle prodded. So I don't know if I like that flip floppy kind of thing, but again, in the grand scheme of things, she was gonna be the enemy regardless. The Covenant was gonna attack them regardless. So I'm a little bit more encouraged to watch this in the next season after this episode compared to like last episode, which is like crappy all around. So about you, CHUBAX?
Yeah. At first, to just respond to you, I think the only one that really flip flop was Maki. Halsey's always been Halsey. She's just trying to get her hooks in anything she can. So she's switching whoever she can get. John's still learning who he is. So, but then if at first I was turned off also with the Maki flip flopping so fast. But then if you think about it, so she was treated bad when she was a kid with humans, picked up by the
Mhm.
Covenant. But
Treated well.
no matter how well you're treated with them, there's still gonna be lack that connection, that visceral connection with the different and I'm sure they didn't treat her the same also. I'm sure there's like some distance there. So once she connects with somebody, especially like somebody like Chief, it's really gonna shake your foundations. So this is the first person that I connect with, understand him, and we're the same, we're both humans. And then in the end, the cattle prod will piss anybody anybody
Yeah,
off.
that's true. That's true.
Especially if it's been done to her before. So
Mhm.
it's gonna snap her. But yeah, yeah, Halsey is, as Jay said, annoying, but she is what she is. I mean that it would feel worse if she was like showed any sentiment or something, because that's not who she is. You know what I mean? So like she's the villain you love to
Yeah.
hate. So it's okay with me. And the action was really good. Like I love that, and the fight scene with Riz and Vanek against Chief, and yeah, that scene with Kai. That's why you should always wear your fucking helmet, because she got taken out in 2 shots when she was questioning Riz and Vanek. Like that's why you wear your fucking. You can argue with your helmet on. You don't have to be holding it on. That fuck. She got sucker punched. Like what?
Oh, was the community? What's was the comms with the Spartans via the
Yeah, I
by
think
the help?
so.
So that's why she took it off. It's like she doesn't want to hear Halsey anymore, or maybe there's an earpiece or something, whatever. But
I
yeah,
don't
don't
know.
take
Yeah,
your helmet off, bro.
don't take your helmet off, though. Because even if you don't want to hear house, you need operational intelligence. You know what I mean? Like information. So, but yeah, big pickup from last week, and yeah, I'm liking how it's all coming together. So yeah, better than last time.
That's
All
good.
right. Good. All right. As we close the discussion of episode 8 with Halo, let's run through our rating for this particular episode. I'll start with you, Jay.
For me, although it had some good scenes, I'm still going with a 7 for this one. It was I was giving it 6s before, but this one's slightly better. So I'll give this one a 7.
Yeah, same with me. I was gonna go with you. I was it's a solid 7.
Hmm.
We had low 6s in a few episodes. This is probably like a mid 7. Solid, like could be better, maybe better writing, or only because like for me, my standards for sci-fi is super high since I've seen a lot and we've seen these tropes already. They have solid new elements, but not solid enough for now. But in the end, yeah, I'll watch this. Like this is, it's a pretty good franchise. It was a good investment for Paramount Plus to use an IP where they will be given a lot of slack, like a lot of social benefits. Like
Mhm.
they stumbled a lot this season. If this was not Halo, I would have stopped watching. But decent fight scenes, decent armor, decent effects, cute little tiny blonde girl. I'm in it. So one more episode. Chubax?
I'm gonna go like mid to high 7. So
Okay.
almost an 8. Just because
Mhm.
the last episode was so bad that this one,
Yeah.
big.
Oh, the
If
last episode.
if last episode was
Oh.
good, then this one would be a solid to low 7, but good kick. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm excited. I'm actually excited for next episode.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize I always thought it was going to be 10
Yeah, me
episodes. So
too.
it's going to be great. We have one more solid episode of Halo coming up. So as we close our discussion on our A block, our TV series for the week, and move into our movie of the week, we are going to pause for a little break so that we can change our background and some trailers. So stop recording and we'll be back in 2 shakes. And
Hello.
we are back, fresh new backdrop, ready to show you visuals of Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Before I turn over to discuss the synopsis, a little bit of stats for the movie. Uh, Written by, I always like starting with the writer because that's kind of like the backbone of the movie. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Waldron. Michael Waldron was a writer for Rick and Morty.
Woohoo.
So it makes sense because of all the multiversal shit. He was also in Loki, the TV series. The quick note here was he was writing for Loki, but when the original director and writer of Multiverse of Madness, Scott Derrickson,
Mm-hmm.
the writer director for
Mm-hmm.
the first Doctor Strange, left the project due to creative differences. He left Loki to start working on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So that's his most notable credits to his writing name. Cinematographer
Interesting.
is a guy named John Matheson. He is most well known for Logan. So that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
He also did King
Mm-hmm.
Arthur, Legend of Swords, and Man from Uncle with Guy Ritchie. So visually, there is some goodness in there. He has a little bit of uh, uh, superhero experience. He did X-Men First Class, which I think one of the better X-Men that came out of that particular franchise.
It was
Um,
actually. You're right.
yeah. He most recently he did Detective Pikachu prior to doing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Another good note for our cinematographer here is he is doing Batgirl, which is already in
HBO.
post production. So I didn't even know that. So that's
Ooh.
pretty cool. Directed by Sam Raimi. I don't know. I've never heard of him before. I don't think it's done anything of note. But if
Nothing
you heard of
special.
Spider-Man 1 to 3, Army of Darkness, everybody knows Sam Raimi. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate
Drag
him.
Me to Hell.
Yeah, Drag Me to Hell. Very awesome. Like he is accredited for both starting or making superhero franchises a blockbuster hit because prior to Spider-Man 1, superhero movies kind of sucked. And then he dropped
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire to critical and audience acclaim. But he also dropped Spider-Man 3, which is attributed to the fall of
Yeah.
superhero movies. So take what you will. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. I love him most for playing Sherlock. Elizabeth Olsen, my
I
ex-girlfriend,
love her so
reprising
much.
as
I
uh,
love
as
her so
Wanda
much.
Maximoff slash the Scarlet Witch. Chiwetel Ejiofor reprises his role as Mordo, despite in a
More.
different universe. Benedict Wong, he's the best. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize it's the movie. It's the movie
He's
of Benedicts.
awesome.
Benedict Wong and Benedict Cumberbatch. I loved watching a lot of his recent interviews when he was doing his press junket for Multiverse of Madness about how he got the role, where he started a campaign called Wong for Wong because his name is he was like Marvel was blowing up and then there was apparently casting a character named Wong for this magical role. It's just like yo Wong for Wong, so he started a campaign Wong for Wong. Uh, Newcomer Soshi Gomez playing America Chavez,
I like her.
and of course Rachel McAdams reprising her role
Christine.
as
Different
Dr.
Christines.
Christine love interest, and uh, coming from Doctor Strange 1 to Doctor Strange 2, a marked percentage of screen time, but also role within the movie from being just somebody that pops in and out to being one of the main cogs in this movie was marked improvement. Did a little bit of research too on Rachel McAdams when preparing for this episode. She was the first choice for which Marvel character? I'm taking guesses. Jay or Chubax?
What's the question again? Sorry.
For
She was,
which?
yeah. So Rachel McAdams was the first choice for which MCU character that she turned down?
Black Widow?
McAdams.
Yes,
Black Widow?
correct. She was the
Ooh.
first choice for Black Widow. She turned it down because she did not want to be in superhero movies. She did not believe in superhero franchises.
Wait a
So
minute. Rachel McAdams, the one from Mean Girls?
100%.
That's her.
That's
And
her.
Christine.
Damn.
That's Christine.
Oh yeah,
Christine.
Christine. Yeah,
Oscar
that's right.
nominated Rachel McAdams. So that's the reason why she was Oscar I forget which role she was Oscar nominated, but that was prior to her being tapped to become Black Widow. She turned it down again. She didn't believe in superhero franchises. But after she saw the first Avenger, she then told Kevin Feige that she'd be happy for whatever role, for anything that she needs her for the MCU, even if it's not a big role. She'll just keep on coming back, knowing that the well-oiled machine that is the Marvel Studios in Atlanta has done now. She'll be happy to go. So no, she'll be reprising a lot of Christine's, I'm hoping, in multiple universes in the future. So
Oh
runtime of
yeah,
126
she
minutes.
looks much older now, I
Yeah,
guess.
right. I
Mean
think
Girls
the
was
red
how
hair
many years
does
ago
not
anyway?
for her the red hair is a little bit aging rather than the blonde, but she's still
Mm,
great. I still feel like her.
agree,
Yeah,
agree.
came out May 2nd in select theaters, May 6th worldwide. Runtime of 126 minutes, so a little over 2 hours. I think that's a perfect sweet spot.
It
Not too
was.
short,
Mm-hmm.
not too long. Um, the budget of the movie was $200 million, which is kind of impressive considering the amount of effects that this movie has had and the names that is associated with
Whew.
this movie. But the budget was $200 million as of recording 2 weeks after launch. It has a worldwide box office hit of $552 million, 240 of which in
Damn.
the United States, second biggest release post-pandemic ever, only second to No Way Home. So
No way.
it's tracking very well. Initial polls of the Twitter sphere, I've listened to approximately 8 different podcasts in the past couple of weeks talking about this particular movie. It's very split. I am very surprised how varied the reviews of this movie has been. So I'm excited to discuss it with my friends. So I turn it over to the handsome man himself to run us through the plot, and we'll interject and talk about all the beats that we remember of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But before the plot, will you tell the audience why you're such fuckers and why I'm so upset that of how did you guys watch this movie?
Well, all right. So CHUBAX and I wanted to watch Doctor Strange in the cinemas, so we wanted to, and our cinema of choice was Podium somewhere in Ortigas. Now we also informed Mark, and Mark joined us. So there were three of us actually that watched the movie in lazy boy chairs, Dolby Atmos, all the stuff. Um, so we were in Podium, and we also enjoyed a Wolfgang Steakhouse dinner.
Yeah.
Right after. It was a great nightcap to that movie evening. But yeah, so we watched it yesterday. That was May 13th, and we thank you so much, Jong, for not spoiling the movie for us, despite the fact that you probably wanted to since day one. It really saved us from any spoilers. So thank you.
Fuck you all. Go the fucking split.
But you know what? Chubax and I decided, like, for Thor: Love and Thunder, let's watch it on the same day. We may not be in the same country, but
Okay.
while you're watching it, we can watch it the same day. So you don't have to hold back on spoilers.
Fine. I might allow it.
But yeah, we're just side note, Chubax and Mark and I might keep doing this every month, at least once a month. So whether it's
Unsubscribe.
movie or just dinner.
I won't allow that. I won't allow it.
All right. Well, on to the plot, shall we? So,
Let's
of course,
go.
I'm taking this plot from Wikipedia. Now, please stop me if you want to interject. Let me just get it from Wikipedia right now. Okay, so the plot is America Chavez and a version of Stephen Strange are chased by a
The
demon
Defender
in
Strange.
space between-
Defender Strange.
Yeah, the
Let's
Defender
stop there.
Strange.
What do you guys think of the fucking ponytail?
It's Benedict Cumberbatch. It's cool.
I just
It
thought it's
doesn't
like it was
matter.
obviously a wig. But it's like, I mean, Marvel, you've been doing wigs for 20 years now. It's like you should be better in doing these the high pony with the shaved sides. Nah, not
With the
for me.
shaved
But
sides, I know.
looks cool. I did like Defender Strange.
But I think that was really how it looks like in the comics as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, they at least there was some consistency there. But you're right, the quality of the wigs, and it's not just there. We'll get through it later, but there's some issues on the wigs. That's true. So they were chased by a demon in the space between universes while searching for the Book of Vishanti. Strange is killed, and Chavez accidentally creates a portal in the shape of a star that transports herself and Strange's corpse to Earth 616.
Though
which is
Strange did try to kill Chavez
Yep.
to get her powers.
So
Well,
that's
sa-
good.
for
Very early in the
safekeeping.
movie. Yeah, very early in
For
the movie,
safekeeping, yeah.
we're introduced to America Chavez's power being sought after by this demon for we are thinking through the trailers that we've seen that it might be like a worse version of Strange, which is a cool misdirect. And yeah, in order to save the universe, it's best to take the powers from America Chavez, who cannot control it, and put it to Strange, who can possibly control it and defend himself. So there's reasons like yeah, it's just, I mean, yeah, some people might think like, yeah, it's justified to sacrifice one life for the sake of the multiple universes versus you know keeping that one life precious. So already at the start,
That's
not
right.
even like 5 minutes in, we've set up the entire thing. We also know we're in the gap junction, and we also know that there is a book that will help them do stuff. So I was like, wow, all right,
And
okay, I'm caught
the
up.
effects
All
here
right.
looked pretty good.
Pretty good.
The fight scenes
Yes.
here, the effects here looked really good.
Good action, good looking demon, good looking running around. So yeah, like right smack in like first 5 minutes, we're in it. We're like we're hit the ground running.
Exactly. All right. So she transports herself to Earth 616. Now, scene cuts to Doctor Strange waking up from seemingly a bad dream, preps himself, puts on a tie, and then attends a wedding. Not just anyone's wedding, but Christine's freaking wedding. And
Christine,
Did he wear the watch that was broken?
Yes.
He did.
Yes. I think he
yes.
did. He did.
Did
Absolutely.
wear the watch, still
But
broken. Good symbolism.
I love the banter between him and the other doctor that sat next to him.
So
So
yeah, I
how
was
have
gonna
you
say
been?
like Nicodemus, Dr. Nick, who was essentially like his competitor, a doctor in Doctor Strange once sat beside him and chatted about the blip or chatted about the entire thing, which that's what I wanted to ask. CHUBAX, what do you think about that? Like now in this movie, everybody seems to know what had happened. So there's a gap where somebody chronicled, what Strange did, because Nick said like, hey, was that the only way? Because that's presumably that
Exactly.
knows that he went through 14 million other whatever
And this was the best.
scenarios, and then somebody told that like, hey, Doctor Strange fought Thanos in Titan, who locked through a couple of million.
I'm sure one of the
things.
Avengers must have slipped it somewhere. Like talk to
A
someone that
debrief,
talked to
yeah?
so it's I'm sure it got out.
Like I was asking, like he lost his cat.
At
He
first
lost
I was
Yeah.
like, that's your depression doesn't warrant from what happened, and then he kept going and going. Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah, understandable. Like
No,
it's-
but what I like is his burn moment. Best doctor, the best superhero, and you still can't get the girl. I was like,
but he was
oh,
he was benched for 5 years. That's the thing. He was like he was blipped for 5 years. So I was like,
know.
oh, still.
but
Still.
still, man. Oh, that
Also
was
horrible.
that was
wig,
painful.
by the way, Dr. Nick. So yeah, that was the one thing that I was like looking at, and This is one of those things where the first movie or the first MCU property that actually questioned, could there have been another way? Which is a really great question
Yeah.
that we'll discuss a little bit further down, because the idea here is like, I think the entire movie it discusses, is the choice your choice, you wanting to hold the scalpel, you wanting to fix everything, is your choice the most correct one, right? So
That's right.
that's asked multiple times across the movie, and I think this was the first one. And I was like, huh, okay. Raimi has the little comedy banter, like cat died, yada yada, and then little slap in the face, like, yeah, my brother too. So like, cool.
All right. So, of course, sees Christine get married in a very sad part while he was trying to have a moment with her just to tell her the truth. In the middle of that, she's
Still
staying
kind
at
of,
her
still kind
husband.
of not the right
Douchey,
time
right?
to. Yeah, not the right
Yeah,
time
it
to
was very
discuss it.
douchey.
On
But then
your
it's
wedding
During
day.
her
it
wedding
is
day.
very Stephen Strange. Like
Yeah,
if it was a different
Also, when
character,
else are you gonna say it?
if it's a different
ego.
character, I'd be like, they're doing this just to shorten the time, because they don't want to show another. But Stephen Strange would do it, so it was
Yeah,
funny.
I think so.
I did love
And
Christine's answer to it, right? Like, she's like, I've always loved you, and I just had some responsibilities. And Christine said, no, because you always need to be the one holding. It would have never worked anyway. You
yeah,
always wanted to be the one holding the scalpel. And then Doctor Strange said, how long did you have that in the chamber? So she was prepared. She was prepared that
She knew
she
him.
knew Strange enough that you're gonna do something like this, right? You're
that's
not gonna
true.
ruin my wedding day for me. So like that was
No,
so cool.
and she seemed genuinely happy anyway with her husband, who, by the way, looks up to Doctor Strange. Is a big
An
fan.
Avengers fan, which is great. It's just great.
It's like for Steven, he was just like, can this day get any better? And he peers out and sees chaos happening on the street. Okay, so that's where America blips into or transfers into Earth 616. So he proceeds to an awesome fight scene with an initial invisible being that
And
throws vehicles around.
and Stephen Strange is such a poser too. How he did the Yelena thing when he
Oh,
jumped, like showing everybody how
that
cool he
is
is.
Yeah,
so
I love
my
it from his suit.
favorite transformation suit ever. And my thing has always been, when we watch Infinity War, the first time that we see Bruce Banner come into the Sanctum Sanctorum in New York, and
Mm.
Strange comes down, and then the cape just flows around him, and then he becomes, from his robes to his like his defense arts kind of stuff. This is the first time
Yeah.
where he pulled out the cloak of levitation as a pocket square. It was a pocket square, and then expanded,
right.
and then he portaled his suit in as he jumped, presumably showing off in
To
front of all the guests.
the
That is fucking. I loved it.
And not just, it didn't happen in a classless way. He rolled while falling. He rolled, and as he rolled, he's now in his new suit. Awesome. I loved it.
I do like
Loved
the
it.
flight pattern of Doctor Strange too. When he flies, he's not like a Superman
uh,
flying. It's like he's standing up.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense a little bit, because like you're being carried by the cloak of levitation. You're
That's
not
right.
like flying on your own. So it's like, it was super cool. I was saying, like, or I was watching with my friend Mylan, and when he jumped over, we were both like, "Fuck, that was badass." That was so badass. Oh, and the reason
So,
why they call the
yeah.
monster Gargantua instead of Shumagorath, which is from the arcade game and books too. Marvel
Yeah.
still does not have the rights to the name Shumagorath.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a bit tough. But Shumagorath in the comics is a planet devouring being. It's like as the eye itself is as
Mhm.
huge as a planet, and it had
Yep.
its teeth that kind of, or bigger than a planet actually, like a sun, and it kind of has this teeth that kind of grind, more like a galactus type chaotic thing. But anyway, so he appears, sees things being thrown around, does his hand gestures, and then it reveals what the being looks like. So it does look like there, exactly what that is. It has an awesome fight scene with it. Then he notices that the being seems to be running after America. So he rescues America from the octopus demon with the help of the Sorcerer Supreme Wong. And I love their banter. I love their banter, the way they just treat each other so casually. And Wong's like, it's customary that they bow to the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I'm still learning about these customs. Yeah.
And he also figures out that there's like runes on the monster, or he sees it
Yes.
during the fight.
I do. Aside from the fight, though, the fight was okay. The fight was good, but I like how the being, the gargantuan, actually died after
Oh,
the gruesome
eye poke.
gruesome eye poke. Man, that was bad. And
But
and
then
and not just the poke, it pulls it out. You see an
the
empty
whole
shell of
eyeball.
yeah.
But then this
Because
is where
action scene, because we
I
see Doctor Strange fight, we see Wong fight, we see them fight together. So there's like, actual stuff that is happening.
coordinating it. My
Yeah.
issue here is I thought we were past this. There were some effects where it was off, mostly when they were flying. Strange
Mm.
was flying. There was a
Mm.
lot of stuff like Man of Steel's type where it didn't look. The past few Marvel movies, we don't notice that anymore. But this one, I give it to Sam Raimi. It's his fault. Like, so some scenes with Strange flying, just like you can see him, like the scene where he flies beside America. When she was thrown to the top like
Mm.
building, it really popped out. Like, that could have used a few more hours in the
The CGI was-
supercomputer. Yeah, but
Rendering.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so at this point, I was looking at it. It's like, oh, Sam Raimi. Okay, action. And then we watch a little bit more. It's like, all right, we're back to the classic Sam Raimi with the fucking dolly and like, ring,
I know.
ring. Come on, dude. But again, that's his style. It's a little bit whimsical. This is where I'm starting to understand that. Like what RJ mentioned, gargantua being beaten, being stabbed in the eye with a light pole and it being pulling out the entire eye and killing it. It's a little gruesome for a Marvel movie, for a
It's
PG-13 movie too.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason. I've been looking at rumors on why Scott Derrickson was replaced, and my assumption is if somebody that was super knows horror nor gore did this movie with the amount of dying and killing this entire movie has, you needed somebody like a Raimi to make it more campy. So
Yeah.
that's what I figured, because if this was like treated 100% seriously, this is a very gruesome movie. But my favorite part here is like when they did the debrief after eating pizza.
Mm-hmm. Actually, more than just the gruesomeness, this movie's quite dark, which is unusual for a Marvel film. Usually with Marvel film, sure, there's sad moments, there's a villain, there's a hero. But for this one, it showed how dark people can be, how dark the world can be, how
Yep.
dark other universes are. It's just it's almost borderline horror, which I
Which it
guess
is.
speaks
Yes. No,
volumes
actually,
of-
great point. You mentioned like we see different universes, and the reason why I like this particular moment after Gargantuan fight. So America Chavez tries to escape. They catch her. They started interrogating her, like who you are, where
the
you're from,
restaurant.
whatever. In Spanish,
Mhm.
because uh Wong knows Spanish, and Doctor Strange's like, so many language, but not Spanish. So, when America Chavez says like, yeah, it's weird. Like, you know, most universes, food is free because you kind of need it, which is made me think a lot. It's like, why do we pay for the things that we need? Like,
Yeah.
right? What like it's supposed to be a utility. So it's like, yeah, it's like your universe is free. You have to pay for food. Most universes, food is free. It's like, all right, sorry, continue.
No worries, no worries. So, as they save Chavez, she even nicks Doctor Strange's what do you call that? The ring,
Lingering.
Ring.
the sling ring, and obviously with the Sorcerer Supreme, they're able to track her back, and she gives it back, and and they ask her who is she. She reveals that she has the power to move through multiple universes, and they wouldn't believe her. So she shows them his dead body. They're like, prove it. And then, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
because she
definitely you.
mentioned here too that, hey, like, yeah, you knew a version of me. It's like, yeah, you tried to fucking kill me, bro. So
And he was saying, oh, I know you. I saw you in the dream. That wasn't a dream. That really happened. So now makes you question, damn. So whenever we dream, do we dream about our different selves?
I have
Wong
no
did.
dreams, meaning I'm a necklace
Wong
being because I have no
Wong did
dreams.
have a dream of being naked. Running.
Running naked.
Running naked. There definitely is someone doing that. That's pretty much for sure. So later they recognize that witchcraft runes were on the demon. Strange consults Wanda. So he proceeds to go to Wanda but for help, but then he realizes that she's actually the one responsible for the attack. So she
Dude,
is the
this
one
was
that holds the
Good turn, right?
dude, this was a twist I did not expect.
So
I did not
100%.
expect
Yeah,
this.
we the this is one of those times where the trailers, we thought we
misled
knew
us.
everything with the
Yes.
trailers, right? We've seen so many people do that deep dive on, oh, Strange and Wanda are gonna
Are
come
gonna help.
together and fight Dark
Yeah.
Strange and Zombie Strange and yada. Oh, nope.
Fuck.
They went for the full turn.
So good.
I loved it. I love that surprise. And
I love the
you
way she
see,
said it.
but
I love how she said like the hex was easy. The lying was harder. And then she revealed
yes,
herself. And I was in
exactly.
denial, like, what's happening? And then
No, but
it took me a few minutes just, oh shit, she's the bad guy.
The idea of like, so why don't you bring America here? It's like, oh, you never told me her name. So
Did you?
that's when Strange
uh,
found out that it was Wanda who was
After her.
sending the demons to capture
no, actually,
America.
Strange didn't have to say it. There's like, why don't you just bring America here? And Strange was like,
Mhm.
and just you
And
never
then,
told me her name, did you?
and then the hex was easy.
The
It's
hex was
the lying was
easy.
harder.
And then
And
she freaking
this was
pulls her out, and
very,
she's the Scarlet Witch. Damn.
this was a very, so again, we've criticized Marvel for having discarding their bad guys, right? There's like, it's always like you find a good bad guy and then they die at the end. Spoiler alerts for the people that haven't seen Shang-Chi, but the dad died. He was dope.
I know.
He was
Killmonger.
dope.
He was dope. And they
He
all died.
was
And it's
dope.
the first time that we see like, oh, one, it's the first hero to villain turn in the Marvel universe. We're not counting Sharon, Agent Sharon, um, from Madripoor, because she
She
didn't
wasn't
have that
really a
much.
superhero. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the first one. But the idea too that, in a span of a few minutes, we get the approximation of how strong and scary Wanda is, because like, hey, the demons are, or the things that I've been doing was a favor. Like, this is me
Me
trying to
being
be a
reasonable.
pacifist.
This
I'm
is
trying
me
to be
being
reasonable. I only just want a
reasonable.
kid. I don't want to care about anything else. I just want to go to a universe where I can be with my fake kids. So that's it. So actually, when I was watching this, like, that actually sounds reasonable.
It
Like,
does.
my question here though is like, could they not just work together to find a way to extract approximate multiversal jumping without killing? Because that's the only thing. It's gonna kill the kid. That's the only
Yeah.
reason. That's the only reason that they did not want to
No,
do it.
she wants the power.
She
Yeah,
does.
so
She wants for herself, not just to see the
yes,
kids, but to protect them and to find any
100%.
solution.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's the other reason why too.
Yeah,
Okay, all
she
right,
said.
okay.
That's right.
Oh, and then the next up is the so it's very
Okay.
Raimi. It's very Raimi to do the comedy, make light of the situation before it becomes really, really dark. Because the next um bit here is Strange comes back to Kamartaj to tell them what had happened.
Mhm.
And then America says, so you went to ask help
From
to
the
the
very
person that was
first
actually trying to kill me. And now
And
she knows where I am exactly. I was like, I would
yes.
best. Um, and yeah, Joe could what happens here at Kamartaj?
Okay, so in Camertage, Sorcerer Supreme Wong pulls all out the guns, so calls every single sorcerer. You've got the China office, you've got the British office, and you've got the people in Camertage. You've got people from New York. Everyone's just basically there, including that Minotaur,
Mm-hmm.
to defend Camertage and, of course, America. Because knowing that should the Scarlet Witch or Wanda take hold of America and her powers, that would mean the end for many universes. So they try to hold her back, but as powerful as she is, of course, with the united strength of all the sorcerers, they're able to repel her to a certain degree. But before she actually attacks, Strange goes up to her and confronts, and she goes, I've been very patient with you, and this is how you repay it. I was just trying to be reasonable. But then she tries to attack Strange. The all the sorcerer's powers combined are able to defend against her attacks. He goes back down, and everyone just gets ready. Now she tries to attack in different angles, which I like because she's just
Mm-hmm.
floating around Camertage, tries to attack, finding a weak spot, and couldn't find one. Except that she realized, maybe if I can't attack head on, she'll do a psychic attack. So she goes checking out, whispering to each of the sorcerer, finds one with a weak will, and then asks him, run.
That was cool.
So he
That
just
was an Easter egg
runs and then
from
distracts
comic book.
everyone.
She whispers some orders from people, so it's super. I like how she
It's a
was like
callback
walking
to
past.
Ultron, Age of Ultron, when she
Yeah.
did it to the
Oh,
Avengers.
she
Really?
whispered to Tony's ear.
No, no, to all of them. Cap,
Oh,
Wanda, Black Widow, except for Clint, because Clint has had enough with Loki.
the this was one of those things where maybe they could have used one more take, because I really did not like the take with Wong shouting, "Fortify your minds! Fortify!"
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like a coach in a football club, a football game.
Yeah, it does. But then that distraction just basically breaks the positioning. She's able to attack and decimate the forces
Yeah.
of Kamertaj, like decimate, killing them off. Some were just burned to ashes, and others just didn't exist right after her blast. That's how powerful and scary the Scarlet Witch is with the Dark Hold in hand. So um, she finds herself in. No matter how they try to defend, I forget that mirror. Is it the mirror world?
Oh yeah.
Mirror.
So during the fight after she reached Kamartaj, there was a one-on-one moment between Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange, and he was able to trap the Scarlet Witch in the mirror dimension. As she walked into the sanctum, she stepped on kind of like a booby trap that puts her in the mirror dimension. But she was able to use the reflections as a gateway portal out to capture America again. First counterpoint in this area for me is nobody like teleported America somewhere else, keep her jumping. No, just stay there. Okay.
With how
Like,
many sling rings were present?
no, Wong and Strange was like, all right, we're just gonna stay here and wait until fucking Scarlet Witch breaks out of every trap of ours, and then she'll find us right here. I would have sling ring her
I think
wherever else.
Opposite side of the world.
my counterpoint to that is this is the strongest spot that you can defend. If you can't defend her
Sure.
here, you're fucked. Whether you
But
bring her
again,
to-
it was already breached.
I know, but she was in a trap, so they didn't know if
That's true.
that could work, So
Okay.
because for me, if I ran by myself to the other side of the world, it's gonna find me, and by then I'll be alone. And
That's true.
Well, he
again,
could have created the network of sling rings.
just keep jumping
Keep
or
jumping nonstop.
portal in somebody else, portal in the Hulk, whomever he could pull. Well, no, that would be a bad idea. Or the idea of all right, she might use other people that come in to be her minions. So okay, I kind of get it.
No, but it really just showcases how amazingly powerful the Scarlet
Mhm.
Witch is. That not
Oh,
even
this
the
is-
entire might of Camertage would put a dent into her plans.
Is this where Wong says like, "Oh, Scarlet Witch, their tales of her, she will either rule the universe or destroy it." Is this it, or a little bit towards
I
the
think
end?
she mentioned it. Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
in the Camertage.
Yeah.
So I think that
Yes.
was a good setup because there was no in between, like rule or destroy. So with those two choices, all right, we're gonna have to fight her because like I was thinking like you could reason with her more. It's like why can't you just not kill the kid? But again, like CHUBAX is right, like she wants to rule all the multiverses. But okay,
I'm sure in back of her mind, she wants backup
Alright.
kids also.
You mean that's why she wants the power? Not really backup kids, but more of
No, I know she didn't
Is
say
that
that,
like-
but I'm thinking in the back of her mind, she wants access to any of those kids, not just
any of
just a
those
pair,
kids, because
yeah.
correct. Because the issue there is so what happens to their mom?
She was gonna kill him.
that was the
Yeah.
main issue.
Right? So anyway, before being able to get America rather, she's able to create a
Gate.
gateway which allows her and Doctor Strange of Earth 616 to actually go through it. You experience the
I do like
journey
I do
through
like the effect of the gate. How they did it. It looked really cool. And also
Oh,
before
so- Wait,
the stars.
do you like the star?
I do.
I hate the star.
I like it.
I'm okay with it.
Because
I like it.
it's a
Okay.
it's a reflection of her.
I know, but
it's her
it's-
mind. So I don't know. It looked cool for me. But also we get the cape getting shot as Strange dives to protect her.
Yes.
So you get the hole.
Hmm.
So now there's like that blue patch in the end.
Hmm.
Is the blue patch comic accurate, CHUBAX?
I don't know, but
Or does it have
is
any
cool.
meaning? Because it's weird.
Let me
Because
check.
I know that Marvel's thing is to sell toys, but to only change one fucking patch on her, like all right, cool, but
Why?
Again,
Does
like,
the toy have a patch as well?
I'm sure that they have like one cape pure red, one cape with patch special edition or whatever. But yeah, this was a debate in other podcasts that I've listened to as well. Because I know the Stargate, the Star Portal
Mm-hmm.
is comic accurate, but come on, I mean, like we've had so many cool portals in Marvel. I just felt that your name is America, and then you have like a star,
Star
very
Alien
clear
jacket.
star portal. Um, I don't know, but I
Because
wouldn't know what.
it was their symbol. If you saw the mom, the
Oh yeah,
parents,
yeah, it was.
it
Yeah,
was
and
like
she
a
still
symbol
had it
of the.
on herself too.
Yeah, it was their symbol of the. So it made sense. She was a kid
No,
when it
and
started, so like she kept it.
Yeah,
no, also America's jacket. The denim jacket had a star at the back.
yeah. That's I mean, yeah, that's again, that's
Hmm.
her universe's kind of like main
Hmm.
symbol. But I just like it
Plus,
was so spot on. Like,
no, but it's also good to differentiate with the sling ring, which
oh
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
circle.
No, I like Marvel has been doing a good way to differentiate different types of like the Bifrost is super cool. The Guardians
Yeah.
of the Galaxy portal is different. Sling ring is different. So even in the Spider-Man No Way Home, the purple stuff, like they've been doing a great way to classify different powers and portals. This one was just like, ooh, star, okay. I wouldn't have picked it. Maybe like a little bit more organic, but as long as it worked.
Yeah, it did. It did. It worked. And then they travel through. I like what you see on the screen right now, where they go through different universes and
That was cool.
they experience different
And I'm
realities.
happy they
They
did it
get
only once. They didn't have to do it again in there.
yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Any favorites
That's
from you
true.
guys on the different types of universes that Strange and America was passing through before they ended up with 838? There was the Paint. There was
I
the
like the
New Gold
comic one.
universe.
I like the
The
comic
yeah, I
animated
like
one.
that one too.
It was nicely done.
There was a
I
noir
found
one.
I found the cube one freaky.
Mhm. I enjoyed it. Like the Paint one was cool, and then I like the noir
Yeah.
one too. But yeah, I always like them
The which
doing
one?
these things. There was like a black and white version, the black and white universe that they came in, kind of like I was imagining in Spider-Man into the
Oh,
into the
into the Spider Verse.
into the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. There was like the Nicolas Cage black and white universe, the noir one. So I was like, all right,
Mhm.
I kind of like that.
That's right. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, but and that's how it shows you how weirdly infinite um realities exist as they travel. And they find themselves in Earth 838. Um I like the little banter. Wow, you didn't throw up. Yeah, you think, this is not the first time I and it sounded so meaty.
Yeah.
So afterwards, so they thought of, let's go back and look for let's go back and look for um what do you call that base that
Sanctum
he has in New
Sanctorum.
York?
Yeah.
Sanctum Sanctorum. Yes, that's right. And they find the Sorcerer Supreme, none other than Carl Mordo. Oh,
Carl.
man.
Carl.
So he was afraid that, we're gonna have to fight this guy. Oh, sorry, but before that, that was the scene that Jong mentioned earlier, where in
Go ahead,
most
I'll be back.
universes, food is free. Food
Mhm.
is free. So that's why she just grabbed like a bowl of pizza balls and Easter
Cameo.
egg cameo. What's the name of the actor?
Campbell.
Yes.
John
So the
Campbell
one
is
from Ash and the Living Dead, right?
Ash and Living Dead, and of course, Army of Darkness. That's the
Army of
classic
Darkness.
Raimi. So he's always
Bruce Campbell.
in every Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Every Raimi movie, he'll have some cameo in it. So that was a pretty cute cameo, and even the Easter egg about um Strange putting a spell on him to punch himself is
Punch himself.
very Army of
and
Darkness because he cut his own hand because his
It was,
hand.
it was possessed.
was evil. Yes, I remember. And America was saying, so how long will that be? Like a few minutes? No, try 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks of freaking
No, I
beating
think he was
yourself
joking
up.
though, but
I know. But then before that spell was cast, he was saying, "Oh, Doctor Strange," and then he says, "Ooh, this seems so
Did you
genuine."
steal
So you
that?
probably
Okay.
steal that from the museum.
museum.
So the moment he said that, I was already thinking, "Oh, so this guy, so he's dead in this universe."
Mhm.
Because normally you don't have a museum for
I
yourself.
thought it was like maybe a couple of 100 years in the future or something like that.
Oh, that's a good point as well. And where the realities are not what it seems. Because red means go and green means stop.
Yeah.
Diba? And that's how it is. So it questions what you know and what you think you know. So you don't know anything when you go to a new universe. You have to relearn everything from what the standards are. So they go to the Sanctum Sanctorum and they see Carl Mordo with Steven thinking that we're enemies. But then this guy treats him, oh brother, I've been
Brother.
waiting for this day. How is it? Which universe? Pulls
Tell
him
me about your
in.
universe.
Tell me about, yeah, exactly. So he's like, wow, okay, this is so odd. And invites them to tea. And from the tea, they were drugged and they wake up inside aquariums, being tested for possible diseases that are unknown to that universe. And whoever was leading it said, this is not a smart thing. Who is, I want to talk to your manager. And then later he finds that the manager was actually Christine
Mhm.
with red hair, which, yeah, I agree with John, was not very flattering, unfortunately.
But that's when we
Um,
get the name drop. I think that was the first applause pop that I had with my viewing when they mentioned
The Baxter
Baxter.
building.
Yeah, I work for the Baxter
yeah,
Foundation. You're at the Baxter building working for the
Foundation, I
Baxter
think.
Foundation. I work on multiversal, whatever. I've designated your universe as 616. This is 838.
mhm.
Like, ah! Like no, Baxter.
So obviously with Baxter Building, we all know Fantastic Four somewhere
Fantastic
around there.
Four.
So Strange gets summoned to the Illuminati. He enters, gets led by an army of Ultron bots. They guide themselves into this big hall, elevated seats. I think there were, how many seats were there? 7 seats, 6 seats, I think.
There was
Um,
seven, man.
7 seats.
3 seats,
And I like,
and one blank in the middle.
exactly. So it's good how they slowly introduced each of the members of the Illuminati. Um, but of course, the most iconic introduction came in from when you had this yellow hover wheelchair,
Yeah.
90s
hover chair
classic fucking shit.
fly in, 90s classic with a classic 90s animated X-Men theme.
With the
that
green
voice,
suit.
very,
With the
with the
green
green
suit.
suit.
Yes.
very
Like
Professor.
animated series accurate. Ooh, good job.
Love it.
But
Love
dude,
it.
it's John Krasinski, man.
Oh,
He was
so
fucking Reed Richards, man. He is.
let's
Yeah.
pause there in terms of the introduction of the Illuminati. So we've seen Mordo in the trailers. We've heard of Patrick Stewart
In
from
the
his
trailers.
voice in the trailers as well. People have kind of like done the screen grabs in the trailer of Captain Marvel, and as you know, correctly assumed that it was Maria Rambeau, right, instead of
Brie.
Carol Danvers,
Carol,
Great.
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So and there's in the poster there's the shield
Carter.
of the Union Jack
Carter.
shield. So Peggy Carter. So I thought that we've done it. Of course, people were assuming Fantastic Four, maybe a version of Tony Stark, Tom Cruise. But let's start with the low key. For me, like geeky edition. Blackagar, Boltagon.
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt was there. I had to be like, this was way more surprising to me than Reed Richards. Like having Black Bolt from the doomed
Inhumans.
Inhumans series, the same actor. Who's also Captain Picard in the new
No, he's Pike, Captain Pike.
oh, Captain Pike, the captain for the new Star Trek, who's
Yeah,
doing
I
looks
love
really
him.
really
I
good. So
love.
he was there.
He was
The
act-
Paramount Plus one.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
So I was
I just love John Krasinski. But this is my fear: seeing him there and then seeing how he died. Are they? Is it? Are they gonna bring him back?
Does it mean there's
Is there
yeah?
no chance that he's? Does this kill his chance of being in a?
no. So I think, and then this is like my first like discussion that I want to have with you guys is I think this is a perfect Marvel hedging of bets because you go one way, you do fan casting, which is never a good idea, where you make the fans pick the character. But everybody and their mothers think that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are kind of like the perfect
Reed Richards and
Mr. and Mrs.
Sue.
Fantastic, right? Okay, we get that. So this movie says, sure, internet, we got you, right? But we will kill everybody off right away. So if they change, if they don't cast Krasinski as a Captain Fantastic, at least we had it. We had it a little bit. And in the back of our minds, there's always going to be a multiverse that there might be another Krasinski or might be another character playing it. Right. So I think this is like the ultimate Marvel hedge
But
where,
my issue is if they
they're
cast
giving
if they cast somebody else, I'm gonna be wishing we had Krasinski.
or we can be surprised that like Marvel has done pretty well in maybe
Casting, agreed.
80% of their casting, 90%.
That's true.
So I've been hearing names like, how about Riz Ahmed or Dev Patel as a Reed Richards, because the main comment about this Reed Richards from like 5 of the 8 podcasts that I've listened to, and these are comic book heads, so they're a little bit too. I mean, I'm not the type that you want to lift the Reed Richards from the comics to the movie. You can be different because in the comics, Reed is super arrogant, right? He was, again, he's the smartest man alive, so he has a little bit of air about him. But I actually really like this family-oriented, very nice guy, Reed Richards, and I really hope. My hope is they just continue this. Just
But
fucking do
depends
Reed
also on
Richards.
what you read. The Fantastic Four I read is this guy. This is the
Like,
comic accurate one that I've read. He's the dad.
yeah,
He's a nice father and not arrogant. Because the arrogant one is Tony. Most in what I
yeah.
read. So he's usually nice. So this one from what I read. So
Yeah, for most of, I mean, again, this is secondhand from all of the people that claim to be like more comic book heads. Like for a majority of the Fantastic Four series, there's always been like he's the absentee father because or absentee husband, and then that's the reason why Kang is a descendant of Ben, Reed Richards and what's his son's name, Benjamin Richards, in the year 3,000 years in the future, because he wasn't the greatest, and that's understandable. But this is, again, the beard was perfect, the suit looked great,
it was everything. The way he spoke, the way he talked. I loved it.
the way he's appeared, the portal,
Yeah.
his own personal portal. He's great. Yeah. Sorry, Jay,
All
continue.
right. No worries, no worries. So while he's having that trial, you have Scarlet Witch dream walking
Dreamwalk.
with Wong tied up, chained up and tied up to the wall with most of the Camertage team dead. She does a dream walk, takes over the Wanda in that world in 838, and proceeds to the Baxter building, destroys all the Ultron bots, tries to capture America, but Christine was able to kind of break her. Well, not really. Tried to help her, but
She
it wouldn't
escapes it.
open. Right. While chaos is happening, you've got the team of the Illuminati going to intercept Wanda. So you've got Reed Richards, you've got Black Bolt, you've got Peggy Carter, and
A little bit of
Captain
Mr.
Marvel.
Cool.
Yeah. They all proceed to try to stop Wanda in a dreamwalk state, and sad to say, totally decimated. First was I like the horror of this all. Okay,
Oh.
I can't remember which horror movie it happened. I think it was Pinhead, where the mouth just or Nightmare on Elm Street as well. I think they did that.
Matrix.
And Matrix.
I remember Matrix.
That's true. That's right. That's right. So you go, you got to stop this Wanda. You can't dreamwalk. Go back. You know that you can be destroyed into nothingness with just one whisper from the Black Bolt. With one word from Black Bolt. It goes, with what mouth?
Eh?
And,
Wait, I
and then
think
you
we
just-
skipped an integral part though.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Wheel back in terms of during Doctor Strange's trial, the
Mhm.
Illuminati already mentioned, like, yeah, we know how dangerous Wanda is, but the most dangerous person in the entire multiverse is actually.
It's not Wanda. It's actually Stephen Strange.
So certain things that I
That's-
liked about here. Difference from the comics, the Illuminati in the comics was, a Bendis run, and they were just like a congregation of the smartest people alive, the cabal of people that will do the hard decisions. In this particular version of the Illuminati, it was Doctor Strange who built the group, and it was also him. So in 838, instead of different realities using the Infinity Stones to defeat Thanos, they Doctor Strange used the Darkhold to dreamwalk into the different multiverses to figure out how to beat Thanos, which they did. But he also understood that the Darkhold would take a hold of him, and the Illuminati would need to kill him. That's where we
No,
see
I think
how.
no. He tried to use the Darkhold,
Mhm.
caused an incursion, destroyed a plan, an entire universe.
You-
Said-
The universe.
Yeah, said sorry, we fucked up, and then they used the Book of Vishanti to defeat Thanos.
Oh yeah,
And then,
okay.
and then they killed
Correct,
him,
correct.
and then they
And then
they killed.
he let him kill him. So
Yeah, he's
He
Um,
let them kill him.
he offered.
and the Illuminati in that universe, they kind of like the people needed a story. Like, whoa, what about the statue? What about the statue? Like, bro, that statue is
They
real.
need a hero.
They needed a hero, and then we didn't want to let them know that you were the one corrupted with the
Destroy
dark
their.
finger.
Ano,
Yeah, but also that's where you can see, like, Darkhold, because he was trying to be an ass when they were introducing Black Bolt. Say like, he can't speak. Oh, does he have bad breath? It's like, no, bro. One
The
word.
man with the dinner fork
also,
on the head.
I think it was interesting where it was their fear of Strange that they made of their Strange that made them biased against this Strange. Because
Mhm.
if you were logical and reasonable, you'd say, okay, he's not a threat right now. Let's take care of Wanda first, right? And then worry about this one. But they were like so scared of Strange that no, you're the one, even though he hasn't done anything, you're the one that we need to take care of. And then that's
Yeah.
when.
Well, that's when they know that, like, this is where I realized that a little bit of what if and a little bit of fear kind of showed that, no, yeah, they were very dismissive. Like, yeah, we know Wanda, she's dangerous, but we know that what we figure out and in researching the multiverse is like the most dangerous person is you. Like, you can be corrupted. That's why you built this, so you can stop yourself. So they didn't know what type of Strange this is. But this is also where once Wanda started attacking the Baxter building, and then everybody left, and it was Mordo and Professor X left in the trial. Professor X quickly, she's like, if you ever get out of here, save the girl. So, which is kind of like great. Like, that's one of those things where, oh, okay, so the person that wrote this understood the comics, that Professor X will always kind of not only hedge his bets, but also look at, it
The
doesn't
good
hurt.
in each person.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to say like, hey, he didn't say like escape. No, if you escape this, get the girl, protect the girl. So he's still saying
No,
like,
and he read his mind. That's what I assume. Also, he read his mind. He knows what
Me
kind of
too.
man
Yes.
Strange is.
yeah.
They're not
But I
assuming
also
anymore.
understand that like you're saying like, all right, you're still good. You can still do this. So it didn't hurt to do that a little bit. So I really like that part. Like even a few words kind of made Professor X like even smarter than the other, less fearful or less scared and smarter than even the smartest and strongest beings in that universe.
That's right. And I like how you were first led to think that not everything that you know now is the same in every universe, but actually Carl Mordo was still kind of prick that he was. The douche. So yeah, so most of the everyone in the Illuminati actually dies except for Mordo, who was beat up by Strange and then kept with that left
This is
hanging. But
the death of the Illuminati is twofold for me. One, it's important because it shows how Wanda is the most powerful being in the universe. But also, two, like a
yes,
couple of minutes ago, you just showed Thanos impaled by his own sword in front of the
yes,
Illuminati. Not super beat up, but they were able to defeat Thanos with the Book of Ashanti, and then fucking like Wanda dispatches of them very quickly, like the Black Bolt devastation of the head.
well, that's the thing. They didn't have the Book of Vishanti. They weren't
Mhm.
using it against
Yep.
her. If they did, it would have been a different. It would have been a different game because it's the Book of Vishanti is the
Darkhold,
antithesis
yeah. Antithesis.
of the Darkhold. Yeah.
and
So, but I
and
do
also
like how gruesome it was.
magic is a equalizer. Fuck, if you put Superman
Yeah.
there, he'd still be dead. Because it's magic.
Yeah. Versus magic, which is beyond logic,
Yeah, so it's just
right?
it made sense.
Yeah. It
It was
does.
fun.
It does.
You have Black Bolt's mouth being closed shut, so when he mumbled, he exploded his own brain. That was smart.
Damn shit. That was, but yeah,
Um,
but that was also very gruesome. That was such a
very good.
morbid
Again,
death.
all of the deaths here, except for one, like
Captain
the
Marvel.
Captain Marvel death was like meh, but like
Was
everybody
normal.
else is
Yeah.
like gruesome. Next one was
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr.
Mr.
Fantastic. I love how a
Fantastic.
little bit of banter. You get to know that Valeria and Benjamin and Sue is there in that universe because like yeah, I have
Yep.
kid. And then you'd understand. So like she
Is their
noodled.
mom with them? Yes. Well, then good. Then they'll still have a parent.
That is scary as fuck. But also you see like she noodles Mr. Fantastic, but also pops his head like a balloon.
Yeah. Like like those cloud balloons thing. I think that's what she did to him. Not
Yeah.
just it wasn't string cheese. It was like made him into since he's elastic.
Mhm.
So she made him into balloons,
Yeah.
which
It was
pop,
great.
pop,
It
pop,
was
pop,
like
pop, pop.
yeah. And I like the idea like, you kill the dudes first, showing that all right, dudes are weaker. And Peggy Carter with just a fucking shield and a jetpack. And
Yep.
Captain Marvel was able to last way longer than the guys did.
Couple more.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel, in all fairness, is really a powerful being as well.
Oh yeah.
Very powerful. So that made sense because I was even surprised that Peggy Carter with her. Well, she has superhuman strength. She was
Yeah,
injected with
yeah,
the
but also
serum,
that has
but
always
still
been the
quite
case. Like,
human. Yeah,
he was able to go
but
to with Thanos for a little bit.
yeah, they should have at least shown how she was sliced in half. But it was suggested. But I guess
It's
with the kids
PG-13.
watching this, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really do more than gruesome. But that's how amazing it was. She Wanda flinged it back, sliced her in half. Damn. And how do you know it? Because it goes through her stomach. Then the next scene is that the shield just goes hit the
To the
wall,
wall.
and then she falls down. Damn. Yeah.
And this week is like, yeah, Captain Marvel is so powerful. You drop a statue on her and she dead. So all right.
No, I think she
That's
either the
true.
power drained or something. Like she got to
Oh, that's
her
true.
when they were
Okay.
when they were like going toe to toe. Her armor was peeling already, and like the light
Okay.
was going out
Mm.
from her.
So she
It's
maybe she
like
was able to
anyway.
drain. Yeah,
She was depowered or something, or drained or
It's
something.
like in Dragon Ball Z where you had two opposing Kamehamehas fighting, and then one gets blown up. But that's kind of what happened there. But then you've got the Charles Xavier coming in. Obviously, does his psychic attack, goes inside the mind of Wanda, tries to free the other Wanda who's stuck in rubble.
Another
Then you have
fucked up
this
death.
dude. Yeah, you see this
Oh,
dark cloud going behind, and the thing is, it's really horror because what you see is not just the Scarlet Witch coming out and breaking Charles Xavier's neck. If you replay it, it was a demon. It was like a demonic Scarlet Witch that comes out of
And it was
that jumps
shocking
out of the.
because the red cloud was going slowly, and suddenly bam, she
Yeah,
pops up and then pah.
I
It was good.
yeah,
know.
Sam
That's why I
Raimi
said
does.
it's such a
Yeah,
horror.
he does horror well, and it's campy enough, so it's not too gruesome because, like, yeah, this is a dude's neck being snapped off. But oh my god, I this is where sometimes Raimi loses me because you just had like an amazing fight scene, right? You introduced amazing characters. My theater was clapping, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Black Bolt, yada yada. Everybody was like happy, and then you saw um Professor X do the hand like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you do the Sam Raimi dolly in. I was like, it might have worked in the 90s. It's not working now. So I was taken aback. I was like, oh man. And you see that the psychic waves too. It's like, bro, I mean, really?
Yep,
But
yep.
again, it doesn't take away from the fact that, Professor X going into Wanda's brain, the rubble looking like what had happened in Sokovia, trying to pull out the original owner of that
838.
particular vessel. And then very creepy red smoke, and then Wanda coming out, and then essentially beating Professor X in a psychic battle, right? By
No, but
snapping his neck.
I expected Wanda to come out, like the Scarlet Witch Wanda to come out, not a monster Scarlet Witch. I was like, damn, that was surprising. That was surprising. So yes, Charles Xavier got beat up with a psychic battle. Damn, it just really proves on how freaking powerful Wanda is, right? Well, with at least with the book of
The Darkhold, yeah.
the Darkhold, right? The Darkhold. So with most of the Illuminati handled, she proceeds to go and look for America, who's trapped in that aquarium. When she realizes there's a um, star-shaped opening in that door, and she's gone, right? So she actually was able to break the glass and ran with Christine of 838.
838.
And I like how the horror, again, elements of horror. So as they're running, then they see a shadow, like in a very weird looking movement. So they don't know whether to move forward or stop. And later, that shadow was just Strange running in a very odd
Sliding.
moment. So, okay, speeding up, Strange was released from his handcuffs. They are led to a hallway which should lead to the Book of Ashanti, which they
Under the
would need
river.
to defeat Scarlet Witch, which was under the river. That's right. That's right. So they had to
The
go
Strange
through.
in that universe built a doorway to where he hid the Book of Ashanti, which is in the Gap Junction, uh, with a door that has a key that is specific to Doctor Strange.
which was the key was his Jaeger like a tour watch, which was broken, gifted to by Christine.
Yeah, so it seems like every Doctor Strange in every universe gets a watch from every Christine in every universe. Okay, cool.
And
I
everyone
dug that.
gets jilted.
That was cool because like he started using the Eye of Agamotto first, or at least the casing of the Eye of Agamotto, and it didn't work. And then I realized, like, yeah, that's not specific to Strange. That's specific to every Sorcerer Supreme. So what else is specific to the watch? Okay, cool. All right, that was cute.
But then the watch was handed by Christine.
And
Steven.
I think that is the Eye of Agamotto. It just housed the time stone, but it by
Yeah,
itself
the casing.
has things. It is the Eye of Agamotto.
It's going to be confusing because like at the end when we do our post credit scenes, like we figure out what the real Eye of Agamotto is. But that is the Eye of Agamotto, and it's weird like what you mentioned it too. Like Christine was wearing a Strange 616's Christine watch, right? So she must have taken it out when they took Strange into custody.
That's right.
That's creepy, but okay. Wearing a suspect's personal effects, sure. But good thing that you were able to wear it because if you left it in like an evidence locker, would have been bad.
Because you wouldn't have been able to open the door, which would lead to the Book of Vishanti. But again, another horror element that comes in as they started running through and rushing through the hallway under the river, it was a river. So under the river,
we get the shot where they're looking back, and then there's a zoom shot on Strange, a zoom shot on America. Like, oh man,
Sam Raimi. Again, that's the thing.
Like,
it was super cool when Wanda was running after them, walking on glass, so she
and
will
limping. Yeah,
she will limp. So that's very classic horror trope. There was dark blood on her face, looking like Carrie. So everything is it's like, all right, okay, I kind of get this shaky camera movement, and then what CHUBAX mentioned, zoom in. It's like, come on.
Kind of, in Tagalog we call it gas. Nah, it's too used,
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's his signature, I suppose.
It is. It's a Raimi horror trope.
Mm-hmm. So, love again how powerful she is. Just slices through different blast doors that they throw upon her. Last ditch effort. I like the suspense part where they close the door and they're like, "There's she," because they kind of keep quiet and try to listen for movement.
Where did she come in? I didn't.
There's probably like a
no, it just came in from the side. Whatever. That's the horror bit. You're like expecting, okay, the door's closed, but then she's already in the room.
Another jump scare.
It was a jump scare. So to stop that, Strange breaks the ceiling off, so the river comes pouring in. They run to the other side and closes the blast door, and they're able to open the door with using the watch of Doctor Strange into the gap between universes, and they see, which, by the way, if I can share, was a bit annoying because it took how many minutes for them to just, it's there. That's the Book of Shanti. And it just keeps going swirling around, and you're like, yeah, you've got a deadly witch chasing after you that kind of beats whatever you throw at her. Maybe just, there's the book. Jump in, run in, read the first few pages, and
they didn't even close the fucking door.
They didn't.
They just jumped in and just like, oh, this is a fun place. Like, yeah, you're right.
You gotta grab it, go back, sling magic your way out of there. But no, yeah, you're right. That's where's the fun in that? So, what happens is that Scarlet Witch comes over. She attacks everyone, grabs Christine first from the hair, pulls her, and then Strange tries to to fight her off. But then she attacks Strange back. The book of Vishanti gets burnt, and there goes their hope. The whole thing they were trying to look for.
I do like
Um,
the difference here, because in most like sci-fi fantasy stuff like this, whenever they try to destroy the book, it's always hard. It's always
It's
like
hard to destroy.
there's gonna be a force field on it. Remember, I was surprised when that
yeah,
the wizard
Sam
destroyed
Raimi movie.
even the Darkhold, right? Somebody just
Both
stabbed it,
both the Book of Ashanti and the
and then the
Darkhold
Darkhold
was
was
fair too. So I'm like,
yeah.
all
So
right,
it was
okay.
easy. I mean, he died destroying the Darkhold, but it's still one hit. So yeah, I appreciate
Stabbed
that.
it.
That's true. That's true. But hmm, what Sam Raimi movie again is that? The one with the book that has a mouth?
Army of Darkness. If you
Army of
really look at it,
Darkness.
Army
Yeah.
of Darkness also has a female corrupted by a weird book. Also
Yep.
has a hand that is
That
doing
that
something.
exactly.
A guy trying to save the. It's all the portal to a different world. So yeah, I understand why Sam
Stuff
Raimi
like that.
was hired for this, but also Kevin Feige start as a producer or as like an AD was in Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. So they've been friends for a very long time. So again, it's kind of like a full circle kind of thing. Like you started your superhero journey in Spider-Man 1. Now you own the MCU universe, and then you bring in kind of like one of your first people that you work with. So cool.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So as America gets scared, there comes a portal that goes to another universe, and Wanda shoves Doctor Strange and Christine into that portal while she has America for herself.
Mhm.
And trying to remember, how
Stops
did
her.
they?
He opens a portal back to 616, and then she shoves America forward, and then she's and then closes it. So she leaves the sleepwalking, and she wakes up in
381
front.
there. Mhm.
Yeah, she wakes up in front
Oh
of
yes, that's right. That's right. That's
America.
right. That's right. So the portal opens where she was in sleepwalking position,
Yeah.
shoves America in, so she's back in Camertage, in the ruins of Camertage
No,
at least.
in ano na. This is in
Wundagore.
yeah, the mountain
Yeah, we
Wonder.
skipped a little part where when Scarlet Witch was dreamwalking, one of presumably Wong's Boo, or
Oh,
the
that's right.
sorcerer, yeah, destroyed the Darkhold, and then Wanda threatened Wong with the remainder of the students in
Survivors of
Camertage
Camertage. That's
to
right.
say like there must be another book, and Wong
No, Wong
relented.
said it's just a copy.
Yeah,
The book was just a copy.
yeah. So the idea that the book was a transcription of the Darkhold, which was inscribed in Mount Wundagore. Nobody ever goes there because it's cursed or whatever. So that's
Mount
where
what? What's the name of the mount again?
Mount Wundagore. Wundagore. Um,
Yeah,
so
so I was like
that's where-
wondering, Wanda? Wanda
I was
what?
gonna say it's Wanda too, so it's
Yeah,
close.
Mount Wundagore. That's
But
right.
they, Scarlet Witch and Wong travels to Wundagore, goes up this mountain and see this castle tomb, but in the end, it was an altar to the Scarlet Witch. So somebody built that in anticipation of Scarlet Witch finding it, and the spells were engraved in the walls of that.
Could that mean not only is there multiverses, but they're also putting into consideration time travel? Do you think that could be the case?
Maybe, or I mean, the idea or the prevailing theory is again, and Cthulhu was mentioned when uh, Wong was explaining what the Darkhold was and Mount Wundagore was. So Cthulhu, one of the elder gods, wrote the very very first spells, dark spells, and most powerful
see.
because it's the first, and that's what he engraved to the walls, because he wanted a very powerful witch to be powerful enough to bring in Cthulhu to that particular reality, because he was stuck in a different reality he was stuck there by different elder gods. So that's kind of like where chaos magic comes from, or dark magic comes from. So that's why Cthulhu built that altar. So at one point you have this um, most powerful witch in the universe, and then perhaps he can co-opt that particular witch and bring him back to whatever this reality. So it was kind of, I like the fact that they wanted to give it a little bit of history but not too much. So it made sense, like, yeah, this is where the dark code come from, somebody built it, and yeah, there we go.
Well, I guess if they did another historical fact check there, then the movie would have exceeded 2 hours 6 minutes. They would have probably gone to 2.5 to even almost 3, which in our standards are a bit too long already. So, okay, so now I get it. So she takes over. Wanda takes over Chavez's mind, America's mind, and then uses the powers to fling Strange and Christine into an incursion destroyed universe. So that's why that universe that they appeared into seemed like something's off, or it's like in the brink of
yeah, it's some of the scenes that we've seen in the trailer, which was really well done.
Actually, the world was pretty interesting. I was like, wow, okay, so this is what happens in an incursion. That's when two universes collide or gets destroyed, right? So back in Earth 616, Maximoff begins the spell to take Chavez's power. Strange defeats, and then Strange in that incursion world goes back to his base, the Sanctum Sanctorium, and they see another Strange. So he goes up, leaves Christine outside. The other Strange is saying, who are you? And then he explains who he is. He needs help. He just wants to go back. And then he appears, and then he sees that particular Strange has the Darkhold with him. So to begin this magical musical battle.
Music fight.
Love it. It was so cool.
I hated it.
And
then all the podcasts that I've listened to, some of them rank it as one of the best fight scenes in the Marvel universe, because not only is it unique, like you're fighting musical notes, like throwing stars, but that's the score of Doctor Strange. One in major key, one in minor key. So
I like it
it's accurate.
Especially the end, or it's just one small one.
One small note made a difference.
That make it mess up.
So I didn't like it. I thought it was too campy. It's like, really, you have like we've seen you fight with multiple selves, sling rings, fires, butterflies, in a mirror universe, and we're gonna go with musical notes. Cool. But having listened to a bunch of other podcasts, they were like, this is the best.
I like it. As you said, we've seen them do that. Instead of doing that again, we do something different.
It's great. I mean, that's the thing is, like, all right, I this is where I appreciate, it's not for me, but it's, a lot of people are enjoying it.
I'm reminded when I saw that, the first thing that popped into my mind was the movie by Stephen Chow.
Kung Fu Hustle?
One of the comedy
Kung Fu
Hustle. Because when they had the enemies come over, visiting the village of Kung Fu fighters, they had these twins that sat down with the guitar. Harp. Cring, 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 cring. And then suddenly the sound became daggers or something. Right? And then they were trying to fight back again. So I was like, I've seen this somewhere. I personally found it too long, I guess. I don't know. I found that particular battle too long, but I appreciated the creativity. It was the first of its kind in the Marvel movie. Kudos to that idea, but I felt it was a bit too long. Because it became like, okay.
It went back to the idea that Strange is a music buff. I just didn't realize that he played himself. But like, you remember in Doctor Strange 1, he has musical trivia. Yeah, so all right, like, he's a big music buff.
You'll also see, by the way, very bad wigs of that strange that horrible wig. It's so fake, including the
Yeah,
wig that he had during. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it in the beginning with in the wedding of Christine. His hair was just so fake. Oh my gosh!
they
It was
wanted
like he
that
just
flop. That flop.
there was no flop in the wedding. It was like you placed acrylic hair on it on him. Anyway, yeah, even this weird universes strange had very bad wig.
I don't notice the hair anymore. I ever since I've been listening to Kind of Funny, they always complain about the hair. I just
Oh,
Is it a wig?
is it a wig? Yeah, Nick always mentions the hair, so I don't mind it anymore.
okay. I
Oh,
just
you
found
should.
it so
I
odd.
see your points.
Yeah, my favorite podcast for all of these things is again the Ringerverse, and boy did they. So we don't appreciate this as much because we have Asian hair, but Mordo's cornrows apparently is a hate crime to the black community on how poorly that cornrow was made.
Ooh.
They dedicated like 20 minutes. I was like, oh my God. This shows that there was no black person in that set, because if there was one black person in that set and saw Mordo's cornrows, they would have said something. Apparently this it's the levels. I don't appreciate it, but the idea is like the levels of the cornrows. Cornrows are supposed to be flat. That's why you're
Mm-hmm.
making cornrows. But the bumpiness of it is like apparently it's a no to the culture. So see,
Oh, okay.
these are important things.
I don't have time to.
Man, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know. So after a while, that last final sweet note from the harp um, breaks the tie, flings the other strange off the Sanctum Sanctorium's window, impaling him onto
Roughest
a.
death.
I know,
Another.
right? And he gets hold of the Darkhold. So he tries to use it to dreamwalk to Earth 616, and Christine gave a very good point. Wait, if you do that, won't you need another you there? And then Strange goes, no one said it had to be living.
That
I
was
loved
dope.
it.
That was
I
a
love
good
that
twist.
twist.
Good
I
twist
love
for me too.
So that's where he took over the dead Strange's body. So he became zombie Strange. Fuck, I was like,
Zombie
what?
Defender Strange.
And
But
I
yeah,
love that. I was expecting like in the Multiverse of Madness we're gonna be seeing like 5, 6, 7 different Stranges, and there's not a lot
at the
because
same time.
there's only three technically. The Defender, well, four. We did see the 838,
Mhm.
Sinister Strange, or that's the subtitle. And then the Zombie Strange is technically Stephen Strange,
Yeah,
616. So
it's
it's
I
cool.
know Zombie Strange is Defender Strange.
No, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
but
still
yeah,
see it's six one
It's
six Strange
616 Strange
controlling
in
him,
this in the pilot
controlling him
scene. So yeah,
body.
it's
So
cool.
it's not,
Like
yeah,
there's just four in the entire movie, which is kind of nice.
yeah.
yeah, that's right. That's right. It didn't complicate the
And
story
this is
actually.
yeah what I told RJ and Mark yesterday. I think what what makes the 616 Strange special is because he knows that you may need to break rules, but he knows when not to. Compared to the other Stranges where they just
Mm.
they break it
Ah,
for the sake of breaking it, but this one he learned that from the ancient one, right? In the first one, she was using
Oh yeah,
the dark spell, but you break it when you can, but then you don't when you
when
don't
you
have
should.
when you shouldn't. So that's why even Wong kind of likes Strange because he knows he breaks the rules, but he knows when it comes down to it. When he shouldn't, he doesn't. So it's cool. I like that bit.
that's right. I agree with you there, 100%.
And
So he,
props to Wong also for
yeah.
surviving that fall. Huh?
I thought he
Fucking,
died. I swear he did.
Yeah,
And they kind of
nobody,
threw it.
no, if there's nobody, they're still alive. Comic
That's
book rules.
and
that's true.
I did like the shot where so he possesses he dreamwalks to Defender's corpse, and then they have this
Mm-hmm.
thing with the ghosts. or the
Oh yeah,
spirits.
it's very rainy. The
Yeah.
little
But it
inky
looked
demon.
good. The spirits looked good. Made sense also. Like it even came back to the real body, and then
Yeah.
Christine helping him out with that.
Explaining that you are breaking the rules of you are breaking natural law. You should never dream walk into a dead body. So there are still like
Yeah, but
I like that little bit of stuff. It is the one portion where the Raimi signature and the MCU signature combined very well. Like these
yeah.
demons, very Raimi, right? It's super Raimi. Like it, you watch Army of Darkness. It's literally the tiny imps just in black goo form, but done in a way that makes sense and has a purpose. Scary but fun.
Yes, agree. Now, but that raises a question. There is this higher being that controls that protects these rules, so to
Mephisto,
speak,
maybe.
Or made those rules.
or made
Right?
those rules.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So that means with Thanos destroying the universe with or killing half the universe rather, with the Scarlet Witch with the plans to potentially rule the entire multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
These higher beings did nothing. But because it broke a very specific rule, you cannot dream walk into a dead body, it tried to stop Strange.
Yeah. So it's a great, like
So
it might be Chthon in the future, might be Mephisto in the future. These are good drops of hints that gives
The
Marvel
bigger world.
a bigger world, but
yeah,
also it's just like, all right, it's not set. You're not you're not backing yourself into a corner that I have to do X, Y, Z. I'm just saying that
Mephisto in the Marvel universe is considered what? Is eternal? No,
well, he's
celestial,
also an elder god.
elder god. Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. But again, he's from the line of Chthon too, like one of that wields reality wielding chaos magic. So essentially, where Wanda draws a lot of power from.
Okay.
If
Okay.
it's canonized, we don't have it yet. But the idea is like they could very easily now. They laid the seeds. Because if there's Chthon, it means that there's Mephisto somewhere out there.
That's right. That's right. And that would be something pretty exciting, man. How many years of fantastic movies are we expecting from MCU? As long as I live, I hope, or even longer. But that's where you see Zombie Strange come in, gets attacked by these demons, spirits, and then Christine just tells Steven, "You are the sorcerer supreme. These are spirits. Command them. Use them." And he's like, "Ding! Oh yeah, I didn't think about that." So he uses the spirits, gathers them all like a big
So cool.
Genki
That was
Dama
cool.
thing.
That was cool.
And they made them a
I know,
cape.
right?
Fuck.
And he
That
made them
was
into
that one. It was weird because we've seen it in the trailers, but
yeah.
we're still like, shit. This is fucking smart. This is dope. I
And
really
especially
enjoyed it.
knowing that it is him. It's not some bad guy doing it.
Yeah, but in the trailer we were thinking, damn, that's he's fighting
Yeah,
his
he's
zombie
fighting that
self.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
he's
also
actually
like
that one.
what I was surprised with because when we saw the trailer, everybody thought like, oh, this is the zombie version of what Strange did in
What
um
if?
Infinity War, where he had the multiple hands right before he
Oh yeah, that's
himself,
right.
right? So, but it's not. It's spirits that he
Yeah.
commanded to. Like that was even cooler. So
Oh,
again, now that I realized it, this trailer rocks. Like the way that they
Mhm.
did the trailer, very impressive
yeah.
because it was all there. The biggest beats of the movie is in the trailer. See the Illuminati, the incursion, different Christine, everything was there. Even the cloak, even Zombie Strange, but it's not the way that we thought it was going to be.
Exactly. It was revealed in such a manner that we were led to believe otherwise.
And I
Mhm.
also appreciate that it's not another movie where it could be Strange's fault. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
fucked things up. It wasn't him. So I was scared about that because of what he did in No Way Home. So like I appreciate that as well.
That's true.
Or what if, like if if we were gonna fight Sinister Strange, that is kind of like the big bad in this movie. That would have been like, oh, so I mean, you set everything up from an animated series, so it stands alone, which is kind of great for me.
So Sinister Strange is the one from the What If?
Well, we don't know. We
We
don't
don't know,
know
right? It's not
exactly
I
confirmed.
think
because the
so. I think that is the
Sinister
one.
Strange in the What If got trapped in a tiny mirror universe. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't encourage him.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
a version of Sinister Strange.
Okay.
And he became kind of good in the end, right? He trapped somebody.
He trapped Ultimate
Ultron.
Ultron,
Yeah. Okay.
Infinity Ultron. So yeah.
Interesting. All right. So then he goes battle zombie self. Spirits are able to absorb the powers being thrown by Wanda. If you guys notice that, they're
That's
kind of
cool.
sucking the red energy, which is pretty
Mhm.
awesome. Wong comes back from what we thought was he was dead from that fall, and also helps Strange tries to trap Wanda into the sphere. She's trying to break out, which eventually she was able to. Strange tells America, it's like the
With,
usual.
with the
You've had the
corpse.
power inside you all along.
But it was so fun because it was like, yeah.
But
Yeah,
people were
one
also
side of his
like
face
off
was
with that.
missing.
Like half of the podcast hated the fact that it was a fucking prosthetic Benedict Cumberbatch doing this very emotional, important speech, trying to be a mentor to this kid. But other half was it's very Raimi. You want it practical. You don't want a CGI
Yeah.
corpse like
I
like
liked
talks.
it.
All
Yeah,
right. Okay.
I
Either
liked
way for
it.
me, it's like yeah, it was a little off, but I kind of it was okay. But this was where I like it where America understood like, yeah, take my power, kill me. Because now she's seen how powerful Wanda
Wanda.
is. And then Strange in full on character development mode realized like, bro, no, you don't have control. You have control of it. Every time we
You've always
portal to
controlled.
exactly the correct place that we needed to be. So I was like, I didn't realize that until she
Yeah,
mentioned
so
it.
good.
But oh,
Actually,
yeah,
that's
she did. She did portal you to exactly the places you need to be. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Well, you know, I think it's not the last we're gonna see of them together. I hope not, because they kind of built this entire movie around America. I hope she's in the next one because there should be a next one. Um.
I'm sure she's gonna be pivotal in the multiverse thing.
Oh
Oh,
She's
yeah.
the only one.
definitely.
She's the only one that can travel through it.
Travel. And Young
That's
Avengers.
right. Well, no, she's not the only one, which we can reveal later on at the end, right? But
Oh yeah.
That's
right.
true.
So with that little wink, you've got this thing. So she gets this courage. Every time she would punch, there's like this star that erupts, um, um, which basically is like a dimension punch or something. Um, Fighting back against Wanda, and but the at the end, of course, experience wins. So America, who just at that moment learned to kind of control her powers, gets trapped. She does one last thing and opens a portal to the living room of 838.
Wanda.
And she sees the kids, and the kids were terrified and annoying at the same time. Shut up! Typical mom who's so stressed, shouts at them, and they hide behind her. Typical cute little boys. And when she beats up the Wanda in that world, the boys kind of gain a courage and run to their mom. Don't hurt her, mommy. And she realizes, damn, no, I'm not gonna hurt you. No, I didn't want to hurt you. And then she realized, no, wait, I am hurting them. And if I kill their mom in front of them, they're never gonna accept me as their mom. So I fucked up. That was
Oh,
her.
and the line that got her was, "You're a monster."
You're a monster.
Yeah.
After she's saying that I would never hurt anyone, and then
Yeah. I love that realization of her. Finally, she got it.
Finally, you got it.
But it
Finally,
makes sense.
she-
It's
After
'cause
murdering
she-
people?
No, but the only thing that she cares about is the kids. So it's if it's
Yeah.
from the kids, then that's what really woke her up.
Yeah,
Cheesy, but it
that's
makes
what she.
sense.
That's where the kids woke her up in this sense that, damn, I am the monster that I'm saying I'm not. And if I do this, I'm really a monster. So she cries, and then the mommy of that world, has that touching scene. She's still so hot, even as a mom. And then they head back, and she decides to, I have to destroy this so that the dark hole never comes out again. So she uses all her powers to just break the entire fortress down into rubble, and we assume that's the end of her in Earth 616.
There was a little puff of green smoke as everything was crashing down.
Actually, was it green or red? I think it was
It
red.
was
It
red.
was like
It
her
was red.
power. Yeah, it
Red.
was red. So yeah, I think that's like the power poof disappearing. Maybe, I don't know.
Or she teleporting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Or she farting.
She's still hot though, even if she farted, so don't worry. So anyway, the thing is, not only did she destroy the dark hole in that universe, but she was also able to destroy all the dark holes.
Yeah. So so that wasn't particularly explained well in this movie.
I know.
But the idea is this Mount Wundagore is kind of like the nexus point of
All the dark holes.
the dark hole, because this is where it was transcribed towards. So if there is no Mount Wundagore, all the transcriptions would have not been done. That was kind of not particularly done well. So because they haven't really explained nexus points, if there are any, right? Or if
That's
there's
true.
nexus people like they dropped
Like
hints
America.
of America, like she's the only one
Yeah.
she's one and only, she's the only
There's only
person.
one of her in the
There's no-
entire multiverse.
There's no other versions of her because she doesn't dream. So they've introduced it, but it's not particularly clear here yet.
Interesting, no? Galing, galing. But yes, kulang yung explanation. It lacked a little bit of it. They could have made it more.
No,
more,
there's too much already. I think it's fine. They can just expound in the future if they need to.
Okay. So America returns Strange and Christine to their respective universes.
But I do
But there
love
was this cheesy line between Strange and Christine.
I do love that. It was like cathartic for the both of them. It wasn't
Yeah.
done to the right Christine. It wasn't the right Strange to that Christine.
No,
but
it
they still
had
felt
to be
the
said.
same. They still needed each other to
What was
hear
it?
from
Was it-
each other.
I love you
In every universe.
in every universe.
And I think that's the every universe Stephen Strange becomes a sorcerer because he has his accident. And then it was alluded to a little bit before, a little bit of symbolism, like, yeah, the fractures are similar but not the same. So it means that every Strange has slight variations with each other. And in every universe, there is going to be a Christine. In every universe, there is going to be Christine with the watch that becomes like the key to the tool that will save the universe. So it is there, but it also, I think, in the end, you loving someone doesn't mean that you have to end up with them. So
Yeah, that's his
That's
point. It's
true.
like he's just saying that we may not have ended it up together, but I do love you. I did love you, but it's just it doesn't work out like that. Which makes
That's
and
right.
so the thing too is like they can't be together because the idea of people going from one universe to the other can cause incursions.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's building up to like, ooh, there might be like a Christine and 616 and 838 romance here. It's a little bit of a long distance relationship, but there's a relationship there, right? So, but you
Yeah,
can't.
but
because
that
it
might cause the incursions. We don't know. Is it worth how many? 30 billion trillion lives?
Besides,
300 trillion?
if he's moving on, he's gonna find someone
Yeah.
later.
That's right.
Will he though?
Just not America. She's too young. So they all return. Scene cuts back into Kamertage being repaired. Sorcerers already being trained. Then you see America learning how to do sling, but she's very impatient, which was pretty much identical to how he was when he was
Yep.
training in the first movie. And Wong reminds him of that. And finally, he earns the bow from Doctor Strange. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Wong gets respect. So, and then he goes, "Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. I won't, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with me." So, cut back to him back in New York, goes out, and then as he crosses the street, he kneels down in pain. And I was thinking, what the hell is happening? Then suddenly pulls up his head, third eye pops up. Sorry, but I found the third eye a bit pretty poorly done. But yeah,
And yeah, that's essentially the users of the Darkhold essentially gets to a point where you have a lot of sorcerer power, which unlocks what people would call the Eye of Agamotto. So his power is both good and evil. That's why it pops up. So his access or his using of the Darkhold cursed him with that eye essentially. So kind of liked it because Superior Strange had it too. So and so now Doctor Strange has it.
Interesting. So then that's where it kind of initially ends.
Initially,
And there were initially ends, right? So there were two very important cutscenes. The first one, CHUBAX, can you remind me? Was that the one with?
It's
No,
Clea.
that was the second.
yeah, Charlize Theron.
Charlize
Charlize-
Theron as
Charlize
Clea.
Theron.
Clea
Can you
Strange.
explain what kind of what's her character?
Oh, I just
So-
read a little bit, but in the comics, she's the daughter of Dormammu, but she eventually becomes.
Niece.
Oh well, it says in the wiki, but daughter, but she eventually becomes the wife of Steven, and then I think at one point she also becomes Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme.
But I think in this
Oh,
in the movie she could be like Sorcerer Supreme from another
Yeah.
dimension,
no, because I was thinking it might
Another
have been
universe.
the sister. Because remember when he was
Oh,
in
no.
that in-person universe,
Oh,
how do I know? And then he tells
we had a sister.
him about
Oh.
about the sister, which we're only hearing for the very first time. Right? I mean, I've not heard about the sister in the previous movies. So he talks about the sister who drowns while they're ice skating. So I was thinking, anyway, could be.
Yeah, but yeah,
Oh.
CHUBAX is right. Clea is essentially Doctor Strange's true love. They have a lot of adventures together. She has the universal sword that can cut through different universes and different realities. Different realities. And then they hopped into what seems like Dormammu's universe because
I
again,
know. I saw the
she
the
is
background.
related to Dormammu. In the comics, she is the sorcerer supreme in the dark dimension. So she has
Okay.
that power. But yeah, so we don't know whether the incursion is happening in the dark dimension, or right? So or the dark dimension is incurred doing an incursion to a different universe. We don't know, but there is an incursion that Doctor Strange caused that Clea wants Doctor Strange help to. Interesting.
And
That's
I
right.
wouldn't mind seeing that verbal sparring of the two, which becomes
Oh.
flirting. I'm sure they're gonna be a
Yeah,
good match.
definitely.
I think. I'm excited.
I do
Oh,
love
yeah.
again, this is beyond the movie already, but I mean, one of the last scenes was Doctor Strange finally fixing the watch, right? So it
Yes.
kind of meant that the watch
Moving
is
on.
from Christine. His world stopped when he could no longer do surgery, when he had an accident essentially, but he has now really accepted that time needs to move forward. Now he's moving on. So he was able to fix it himself. No magic, good symbolism. And then looky what you have here, like a hot blonde lady
I know, right?
that has a hot sword that can travel realities.
I would have said yes too.
I was like, you know what? Because
Even if
like
it
I
was
was
a
thinking
trap.
about that too. If any other person said like, "Hey, universe are collapsing. I need your help," it's like, bro, fuck all y'all. I'm out. No, thank you.
I just got out of that.
It's
shit.
No,
Charlize
thank
Theron,
you.
bro.
But Charlize Theron asks you to jump. You say how high.
So that's the movie. Oh, and the last post credit, Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah,
Another
and
funny.
is Bruce Campbell. Oh, finally he stopped punching himself.
So I initially thought that that was a fucked up um uh uh second teaser that's very trolly because like you made us wait to till the end of the movie to say that like, oh, it's over. But it's a lot of meaning, like in Army of the Dead, that was kind of like the joke too, like because he never stopped punching himself. So yeah, so it's like the idea that all right, this is where, oh, finally this joke is going to end, like the living hand. But yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah, but not
Uh,
just that. There's also a sign. There's also a sentence at the end. Doctor Strange will be coming back.
yeah, so there's
So
gonna be one more
giving
movie.
hope that yes, and not hope, but confirming that there
Yeah,
is another Doctor Strange.
couple of years, maybe, hopefully 2 3.
He's taking a
Chubax,
break, I think.
thoughts of what did you think of the movie in general?
So I really, after watching it yesterday, I really liked it. Uh, really liked it, but not love. I didn't love it, and
Same.
I was, I guess, hung up on all the Raimi-ish
Mhm.
stuff. But
Mm.
talking about it now, I kind of love it. I kind of want to watch it again, and I don't know. It went up a point on my book. Like
No,
I was
that's
able to
interesting.
appreciate the good Raimi stuff that we talked about,
Mhm.
Mm.
the gory stuff, the horror stuff more without being distracted by some of the campiness. And I like how that no matter how complicated the title was and like how the trailer seemed and all the multiverse hopping, it was basically pretty simple story also of just Wanda
100%.
going crazy and just wanting to be with not her kids, but trying to be with somebody else's
Hurting
kids.
kids.
With kids.
Yeah, and trying to kill somebody just to get it, and Strange just
No,
trying to stop it. But
she didn't. She didn't
he,
need to have the dark hole to have kids. She just had to ask Jong or you or me.
A volunteer's tribute.
How many do you need? 10? Jeez.
How many kids do you
Lemon.
want?
but yeah, so yeah, I love it. So yeah,
Jay?
That's right. I enjoyed the movie, especially since it was a very nice cinema together with two of very, very fantastic friends
Fuck
that I
you.
could ask for. But no, but kidding aside, I love the story. The action was mostly good. Actually, it's pretty good. Action was pretty good. As effects were done well, except for a few flaws. The ones that we mentioned earlier, especially the bad wigs. Um, I like the touching lines, especially when they said "I love you" in every universe. The movie house literally went, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, I knew it." Um, it was great, but it's not something I would call epic. I'm sorry. How about you,
I
John?
so again, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I saw this with my buddy Mylon, and we had again, it's super split. Again, people loved it, people kind of meh. Um, I'm like smack in the middle. I
Mhm.
immediately understood that this is not going to be the S tier Marvel movie. This is not going to be Civil War, which is kind of like a
oh,
masterpiece,
I was
or Endgame.
expecting it to be low, very low because of Raimi.
So I was the opposite because of the title, because of the Illuminati drops, because of it
Yeah.
bringing stuff from what if all of those elements from the trailer, I was expecting it to be like universe shaking Marvel movie that will affect all of the other movies, which in a way it kind of did, but it's not it. Like Loki and WandaVision had more effect in the multiverse rather than this effect movie. This is actually the result of those. So once I figured that this is not going to be the universe building movie, that this is just the culmination of all of the things, I really enjoyed it because of its simplicity. It's a very simple movie.
Yeah.
Wanda goes crazy, wants a kid. Doctor Strange tries to stop it, hops to a different universe, figures out like shit. I've done some shit in the other universes and I need to pay for it. Learns from it, comes back, saves the kid. Done. And it's all about, there's a lot of action in this movie, lots of set pieces from the very beginning. As soon as the movie starts, set piece. Few minutes after the wedding, set piece. Like there's so many action. It's high paced. It's very entertaining. So it might not be the best Marvel movie story wise, but I actually really think, despite the Raimi signature camera moves, despite it, it's, for me, I think, one of the most entertaining Marvel movies, if not the most entertaining Marvel movie. Like if
Okay.
entertainment factor. I'm not, this is probably not gonna be top 10, but this is probably for me one of the most rewatchable Marvel movies that
That's
I'm
what I
going to get.
realized.
Just
That's
sit
really,
down,
really
open
good.
your eyes, and enjoy the flow. Is it messy? Yes, because now we have so many things that we need to kind of like clean up. Like one,
Mhm.
sit on this movie, and we'll probably discuss in a couple of weeks. Wanda going crazy is understandable, but there's no real precedence to it because we were never told, right? I mean, the idea of it was, where's Vision, right? What happened? Did no one talk to Wanda in the between Westview and the blip, and did nobody talk to her? Because if she's alone in that, and Doctor Strange knew where she was, he could have popped in whenever to make sure that she was okay, right? Nobody stopped her for anything, right? So there's just, it's messy if you really really think about the other implications of it, like uh, like like come on, like you essentially destroyed Kamar-Taj. What's gonna happen with the Scarlet Witch character? And I have my own theories of what's gonna happen and how they're setting up Doctor Strange, and like I think what a good ending would be for their franchises, because they're not gonna do this forever. Maybe a couple of more movies. But here's the one thought that my favorite thought is actually from the start of the movie and kind of stuck with me, because listening to different podcasts, they have different takes, but they've never really, or one kind of slightly mentioned this, but when he was asked, out of the 14,100,000 whatever versions of the future, this was the only way that they could have stopped Thanos. If you realize it, this is one of the ways that they could have stopped Thanos, where Doctor Strange was alive. He had to see it. So there might be other better ways where Strange sacrificed himself. He never sacrificed himself. He
Yeah, but
always wanted,
he wouldn't know what the effect was.
he wouldn't know. But that's the idea too. But that
Yeah,
kind of
so
like, I unlocked I never thought of that. I've never thought of that. Because now you're just like, oh, you want to go with the one that you are 100% sure will be fixed. But it's all on you. You're the one holding the scalpel. But what if there are other versions where, I mean, you have an Illuminati, you have other people that might be able to fix things better without you in it. So I think that's going to be,
it makes sense, but at that moment in time, it's not like he had a lot of options.
oh yeah, no, that's why
He was
I kind of
stuck
like
in Titan.
100%. And that's also, I never thought about it until I saw this movie, where you see that Strange, one, you could use different tools, right? It's not just the Infinity Stones, right? You can use the Dark. So there are other tools to fix a problem. The Book of Ashanti, I mean. So like they never thought about the Book of Ashanti, never saw it, right? So they didn't know about it. So that's one of those things like, oh, we weren't stuck in that particular universe. We could do more and more and bigger things. So that's kind of exciting for me. But also just thinking about it, a lot of people,
What?
right? So in the end, she will, there's a rule in movies that you'll never recover from killing a person. What happens when you kill a person? To redeem your character, you must die yourself. So my bet in the future is at some point, Doctor Strange, with the help of Wanda, against a big bad, maybe Mephisto, maybe Dormammu, or maybe an incursion. Um, they will combine their powers, sacrifice themselves to be able to save a big event. So maybe it's like Doctor Strange 4, or maybe the next Avenger, a Secret Wars. Like Secret Wars is different worlds combined together, Battle Universe, Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, whatever. So that's something that people might be able to like. One of my favorite books too. So maybe that's the case. Maybe instead of Molecule Man fixing the battle world or whatever of the multiverses, it'll be a combination of Wanda and Doctor Strange doing it and then saving the multiverse. Maybe. So now I'm just excited that I never really thought about that. So it introduces a lot of things, Nexus being Nexus points, Cathone. So it's very exciting, but it never really dove into anything of it. So there might be too many seeds here, but the main point is like I'm just gonna watch this when theaters, have a meal, have a beer, because it's just sit down and open your eyes. It's fun. It looks great.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true. I agree.
scoring.
Let's
Rating.
close it out with final thoughts and your score. Let's start with you, CHUBAX.
Yeah, so I was a 7 yesterday, but I'm an 8, high 8 now.
Okay.
I'm close with it. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to watch it again. Don't know how I'm
Okay.
gonna make my kid,
Oh.
how I'm gonna watch it with the kids though, but
See, that's the thing. It's like it's not PG-13.
I know. So
I don't think it's really for the kids. Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. I'll
Okay.
think about it when it's on when it drops on video on demand.
Hmm.
Jay?
I am also an 8, actually. So even though I didn't say it's epic. It fell short of 9 and 10, but it is a good 8. It's a good 8, and I would love to watch it with my wife again.
Yep, same with me. I am a very, very strong 8, maybe an 8.5 right there. Like the idea of it's just so rewatchable. It's so fun. Shed away all of your MCU expectations. Sit down, open your eyes, enjoy this multiverse traversing movie with some bad wigs, some bad camera movement, but overall great effects. As soon as this is on Disney Plus, I'll have this on loop just because it's fun. Like it's just a fun movie.
Agreed.
Awesome. With that, thank you for joining in our discussion. This is a very fun movie. We're very excited to watch this again and watch other movies in the future with you guys. Just a reminder, we are on YouTube, +X3HP. Just do youtube.com/+6HP. Follow us on the socials, comment, interact with us. Let's continue the discussion. Did you like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? How would you rate the movie? And what do you think about my future ex-wife Charlize Theron being in the MCU universe? We are on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The handle is @+X3HP. Listen to us on our podcast if you don't want to watch our faces. Open your app, search +X3HP on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon. Last goodbyes, CHUBAX.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy Doctor Strange and the Halo, and see you next week.
RJ.
Thank you very much for being with us today. Watch out for more content. We love you guys.
Thank you very much again. It's me, Jong, signing off, and see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.